Hey y'all, this is Philippe the Learn to Grow guy. Today I want to talk with you about having a diversity of things growing around a central plant or tree. Okay, I believe that is called a guild. All right, and I'm going to show you what nature does, and then I'm going to show you what I do. Okay, check this out. Out here in nature, you've got ferns, you've got what appears to be mint, or I'm not even sure what they are. You've got this leaf here, this plant here with the five leaves. You can go out, you got trees, look at this multitude of trees growing in an area. This is mint that I've put down, but nonetheless, as you can see, this looks like a, what kind of tree is it? I think it's one of those sweet gum trees, okay? If you look in nature, everything is planted right next to each other, right upon one another. There is nothing that says that you gotta how you say spread your trees out, spread your planting out. There's nothing in nature that does that. Now, would your yield potentially be reduced? The answer to that is yes. Okay, the answer to that is yes. But will they survive? Will they provide a product? And the answer to that is yes. Okay, now how much will they provide? I don't quite know. You got to experiment and find out. Look over there, that tall thing growing over there. It's not exactly super tall. Okay, Elvis wrote a song about that particular tree. If you look at one of the other videos, you probably find out which song it is, okay? I may tell you that at the end. But if you look around here, you've got different types of grasses. I don't like this type of grass, but nonetheless, it grows in the area, okay? This is some of the stuff that the area is able to support, so therefore it is growing it. I believe this one here is a rose, okay? So probably some sort of a wild rose growing right there, all right? But nonetheless, it is what nature is supporting in the area. All right. So what does that mean about where you plant your stuff on your garden? Okay. Now you can look down here. This is it's a cherry bush that I planted here. But if you look around it, you'll see nature trying to fill in gaps with what we would classify as weeds. Okay. However, everything that is classified as a weed is not necessarily a weed. They have medicinal value. They can even be used for food, okay? That may not be the case down here, but nonetheless, that is something you got to keep in mind at all times. Now, one of the things I typically always plant around anything that I'm planting is typically peas. This is a pea plant, okay? You can see a pea pod. It's a small pea pod. Nonetheless, it's producing. Here's another one. This one has a larger pea pod. Okay, there's a no larger, much larger one down below. I always plant, how you say, nitrogen fixers around whatever I'm planting for the simple reason that I would like for the plants to put nitrogen into the soil. Okay, I always want everything to put nitrogen into the soil. Now, this is a more mature tree that I've had here. It's been here for quite a few years. This is an apple tree. I've got a case of, I believe it's something rust, cedar rust, okay? But if you look down below, I got comfrey. This is for chop and drop. That's what the comfrey is for. It's for chop and drop. Or if I feel, how you say, if my neighbor's chickens have a need for it, I can always harvest some and take it down the road to him. But you can see there's a tomato plant here. You see that? Okay, let's take a look and see what else is there besides the last of the remnants of the cicadas. All right, and those of you who are not familiar with cicada damage, this is cicada damage. You see that? You see the lines? Within this line here, oops. Anyway, within this line is cicada eggs. All right, if you see them, different topic, but I'm just letting you know that that is cicada damage. Okay, now under here I've got garlic growing. Okay, this is garlic. See that? I've got garlic growing. All right. Again, I'm trying to grow a variety of different things under this tree. I even have a baby squash under there. All right. There's a baby squash plant under there. Now I'm going to take you to another plant. Okay. This is blueberries. Again, what do you see growing here? You see peas. Okay. I typically like to plant peas around whatever I'm growing. Under this apple tree, what do you see? You see a squash. What do you see else? What else do you see? You see comfrey. If you look over there, you'll see peas growing, peas in a pod. You also see onions. Okay. Again, I'm trying to grow a diversified, the very diversified, how you say, plants, or um, I'm trying to keep everything diversified under my trees, okay? This is a persimmon tree. I like this persimmon tree. I just put it in the spring. It was a bare root tree that I picked up. It is doing quite well. This is a branch here that I did not cut off because I wanted to see what it was going to do. And in my opinion, it's doing quite well because, as you can see, it's got a little fruit right there on this particular branch. It's the only one. However, the tree is very productive. I have a problem. And the problem is that I gotta take the fruit off because I had one growing where the cherry tree is growing, where the little cherry bush is growing over there a couple of years ago, and it produced 1 or 2 pieces of fruit that I didn't even get a chance to eat. However, the tree did not make it past the winter. So this year I need to make sure that this tree, this particular tree here, focuses more on taking care of the roots than producing fruit. Okay, I don't want to put energy into taking care of the fruit because, let me show you. You see that? Loaded fruit, 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 fruit. It's got fruit loaded everywhere, fruit. Okay, but I needed to focus on developing the root system so that it can survive the winter. Now, looking down below, what do you see? You see peas in a pod. Okay, you see the peas. You see onions. You see garlic. Okay, this is squash. All right. Like I said, I'm trying to grow things in a diversified way under all of my trees. That's what I typically try to do. And check out this tomato plant. You see that? Tomatoes. Again, I'm trying to get a variety of different things growing under all of my fruit trees for the simple reason that in nature, that's how God does it. God put a whole lot of different stuff out there in nature. He tends to grow everything in abundance. Apple trees in nature, guess what? They still produce apple trees. They still produce apples. And within each of the apples, there are many, many different seeds. There are what? Up to 5, I believe, up to 5 seeds in each apple that you find on an apple tree. So if an apple tree produces 50 apples per se, and that means that 50 times 5 is, so 5 times 5, 250. So you're looking at about 250 seeds, which potentially means that you have potentially 250 potential apple trees out there, okay? And check my math on that, all right? That's how God does things, okay? And even out here, like I said, do a diversified thing. And in nature, around that apple tree, I can guarantee you that you're going to find more than just that one apple tree, and I can guarantee you're also not going to find those apples in a straight row also, okay? So what am I trying to tell you? Mimic nature, okay? Mimic nature. When you're planting your plants, put a variety of different things there. You can even put, I've even put, some beets under some of the trees in the past. And as long as what you're planting is not going to go deep enough to interfere with where the roots are, I believe you'll be fine. Okay, this is what I'm doing. Okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to mimic nature. All right, that's what I would recommend to everybody, and that way you can maximize the amount of food you grow in whatever given area you have. All right, this is Philippe signing out. I'll talk with you guys later. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Take care.